Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the PG Show, where we talk about all things college football. And today we got to talk about a post that Fox CFB made talking about the best transfer in the 2022 college football season. But before we do that, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments below. Who do you guys think is the best transfer in the 2022 college football season? Fox CFB recently made a post, the best transfer in the 2022 college football season, and it started to lead the way with Caleb Williams, Quinn Ewers, Jordan Addison, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jaxson Dart, leaving a spot for just that other person. And I want to break this down because this is actually a really interesting question, as I feel like this year in particular, we have seen the transfer portal living up to its probably biggest potential and quite honestly living its best life with all the players that are jumping in there. But I kind of want to talk about Caleb Williams first, because you see, right after the departure of Lincoln Riley, which all OU fans expected, Spencer Rattler decided to enter into the transfer portal. And then not too long after that, after OU had won the Alamo Bowl against Oregon, Caleb Williams decided to enter the transfer portal. And this one, I feel like, was maybe a little shocking at the time, because Caleb Williams had decided to stay at OU after Lincoln Riley had left. At this point in time, a bunch of players have jumped ship, opted out of the bowl game. And so I think some people kind of just felt, hey, he might stay. I think there was some hope there. But no, Caleb Williams decides to enter in the transfer portal, and I think a lot of it came down to NIL and what Carl Williams said recently in an interview, who would develop his son into the best quarterback to start day one at the NFL level. And I think this is interesting, right? Because I definitely think Jeff Lebby could have developed Caleb Williams maybe just as well as Lincoln Riley. Point being, Lincoln Riley had Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, all as transfer quarterbacks coming in. Those three were not as quarterbacks. The moment he gets a chance to bring in his own guys, Caleb Williams is the best one. Spencer Rattler had a lot of talent, but he didn't utilize Spencer Rattler to the best of his ability. He wanted Spencer Rattler to run a scheme that Spencer Rattler just simply could not run. And that's no knock on Spencer Rattler, because Spencer Rattler is full of talent. But Lincoln Riley didn't use him correctly, and he didn't develop him correctly, which makes me kind of think, is he going to develop Caleb Williams correctly, or did Caleb Williams just go to USC for the NIL money? I guess we'll never truly know unless Caleb Williams or Carl Williams or whoever comes out and says something, about, and truthfully, this is why I left OU. Because Caleb said on multiple occasions he loved OU. And he loved the boys out here. So that makes me wonder, who was really driving that to enter in the transfer portal? But let's kind of rewind this back, and let's get back on track here. When Caleb Williams entered in the transfer portal, OU's quarterback room was now in complete shambles, right? Didn't have a scholarship quarterback in the room. You had Micah Bowens and Ralph Rucker. And no knock on either of those guys. I'm sure they're great dudes, and I would love to have them here on the podcast. But you got to have more than two quarterbacks, and you got to have somebody on scholarship. And so the announcement of Dillon Gabriel coming to the University of Oklahoma was a huge save, but we were still hurting in that quarterback room, and that was still a huge question mark for the University of Oklahoma. And so Caleb Williams might be the most impactful transfer because of that reason. Now let's get to Texas and Quinn Ewers. I don't think that this is the most impactful because Texas already had Casey Thompson and Hudson Card, two pretty dang good quarterbacks. Casey Thompson's going to go do really well at Nebraska, and I still think Hudson Card could potentially be a starter for the University of Texas. And yes, I know you Texas fans might get mad at me about that one, but it's true. Remember, Hudson Card was a very good quarterback coming out of high school. He can challenge Quinn Ewers for that starting position. And so I think it's interesting that everybody is so hyped up about Quinn Ewers, like he's going to lead Texas to the promised land. He's not Moses with the staff, guys. He's a quarterback with a football. One we haven't really seen throw the football at the college football level. So I don't know how you can say he's your savior and he's going to lead you to the promised land when we haven't seen anything from Quinn Ewers to tell us that he can do that. At least with Caleb Williams, we saw something and know, holy moly, there's a ton of potential there. Even after he sat out an entire senior season in DC. But we're not talking about Caleb Williams right now. We're talking about Quinn Ewers. So again, let's stop making him like Moses, leading the Israelites into the promised land. That's not what he is. He's Quinn Ewers, and he's probably got a chance to possibly not start for the University of Texas. And maybe if he does start and he plays bad, maybe Hudson Card comes in. Guys, I'm high on Hudson Card and Malik Murphy. I know Texas fans don't want to hear it, but Malik Murphy's a dude. He could potentially start next year too. So let's just keep that in mind. Then we got Jordan Addison. Definitely don't think that he's the most impactful. One, because he's a receiver. I just don't think a receiver can make that big of an impact to your team to be the best transfer because they have to rely on somebody else to give them the ball. At least a running back has schemes that have to be ran throughout the game to succeed for the passing game. They don't have to run something for Jordan Addison. They don't. And quite simply, USC has other great receivers as well. One of those being Mario Williams from the University of Oklahoma. And OU fans, you know Mario Williams has got a lot of talent because, oh my, that man was good. I'm not blaming Mario Williams for leaving the University of Oklahoma because we all know he came to OU to play with Caleb Williams. But, man, he had a lot of talent, and I would have loved to have kept him. Could you imagine a receiver room right now of Marvin Mims, Jaden Hazelwood, Drake Stoops, Jalil Farouk, and Mario Williams? Woo! With all the guys that we currently have in there now. Man, All right. I got to stop living in the past, guys. Got to stop living in the past. OU doesn't have Mario Williams. But, yeah, Jordan Addison, not that dude. Jahmyr Gibbs to Alabama. And this one I actually think is pretty interesting. I don't know if he's the best, but I think you can make a pretty damn good argument that he could be the best. I mean, look at it. Alabama lost Jamar Wheaton this year. And yeah, you can argue with me and say, well, Jamar Wheaton didn't play for Alabama that much. Okay. And, I mean, when you think about it, he's going to bring the rain back to Alabama in the running game. He's going to be able to play bully football like Alabama used to with that run game. And let's be honest, I don't know a ton about Jahmyr Gibbs, and I'm not going to act like I do. But, you know, one of the things that he's got is he's got a nice little compact frame. And you know what that means? Kind of hard to tackle. And so I think it's going to be impactful for Alabama. I don't watch a lot of Alabama football, but listen, when you get a 5-star running back, even a 5-star transfer running back, you're doing pretty good. He's going to make an impact. Okay, the next one that is up on this list is Jaxson Dart. And, man, this is another guy I wish would have came to OU. Jaxson Dart and Michael Trigg, which I guess you could say that as a package, right? Can we use Jaxson Dart and Michael Trigg as a package since they were going as a package? Let's just say that they're a package. Pretty impactful transfer move. Why? Well, Matt Corral went to the NFL. Do I need to say more? Jaxson Dart's a pretty dang good quarterback. Why did Lincoln Riley run both of them out of USC? Yeah, I would love to hear that. I'd love to hear the reasoning behind that one. Why they got ran out of USC and, you know, ultimately ended up at Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin. And, you know, Does Michael Trigg go play basketball at Ole Miss? Since they're a package deal, they're definitely right up there with Caleb Williams on the most impactful transfer. But let's get into the people that are not on this list that should be considered some of the most impactful transfers. And let's start off with Eli Ricks, a 5-star transfer cornerback from LSU to Alabama. And this is, I don't know how this one was missed. I don't know how Fox did not put this one on their list. Because this was a guy that Alabama tried to get before he went to LSU. And imagine that Alabama defense in the national championship game with Eli Ricks back there. Does Georgia end up winning that game? Because here's the thing. Even though he's only 6'2", I mean, he's still pretty long and athletic, right? I mean, he's not like the tallest guy in the world. But, I mean, we saw it. He can literally smother a receiver. And and the other thing is he has great speed, right? So match him up with the Jordan Addison. Match him up with a Marvin Mims or a Jaden Hazelwood or whoever. He's going to keep up with them. And he's elite. He's an elite talent. He's physical. You know, what else can you ask for? Now, I don't think he's the most impactful, but I think he's going to make a huge impact to Alabama defense. Think about it. You have to go play Alabama. Not only now do you have to see Will Anderson on the front, you have to see Eli Ricks in the back. Great instincts, great ball skills. He can see the ball. He can read the defense, right? He's got okay speed. Okay speed. But I think that gets him somewhere. So let's talk about Dillon Gabriel. Because I think it would be irresponsible for me to mention the transfer of Caleb Williams and Spencer Rattler and then not talk about the transfer of Dillon Gabriel to OU. Because Dillon Gabriel came in at a time when OU was really hurting and OU needed somebody. And he kind of brought back a foundation to our quarterback room. Now, is he the best quarterback? No, not the best quarterback. But here's my deal. With the receivers that OU has, with the running game that we have coming in, and let's just say we can put up a better offensive line than what we did last year. He's going to be better than he was at UCF. How can he not? He's going to be throwing to 10 times better receivers than he was at UCF. I feel like you could put a mediocre quarterback out there, and if he's throwing to talented wide receivers are going to make him look good. And this is why I'm not like super high on Arch, but I think Arch Manning can be decent. Let's just say Arch Manning out of a 10 is a 5. Well, look at the talent that he's bringing around that team. If he's able to throw to 5-star receivers all day, every day, well, he's going to have a little bit of success and he's going to look better than maybe he really is. Same thing with Dillon Gabriel. I think Dillon Gabriel is going to have a phenomenal season, and I am so excited to see Dillon Gabriel here. And I think he is, right there with Caleb Williams, one of the most impactful transfers. But I've got to talk about my favorite addition to the University of Oklahoma, Jonah La'ulu. Now, why was this one? This one might not be the most impactful, but I got to talk about it because it's my favorite. He was being recruited by the likes of Georgia. And Todd Bates, Brent Venables, won him over. He's here at OU. This is a guy everybody wanted. He's 6'5", 245. Oh, and by the way, not to mention, from Hawaii, we got the Hawaiian bros on the team with Dillon Gabriel and Jonah La'ulu. And I might be saying that name wrong, guys, and I apologize if I am. But this man is a beast. He's a beast. Everybody wants him. Everybody still wants him. But guess what? He's going to be suiting up for the Oklahoma Sooners. And you know what? He was a 2-star coming out of high school. But he's a 4-star transfer. He showed all the upside. And I think he's really going to be able to bring an intensity to the defense that maybe we're going to be missing because of Perion Winfrey not being there. Perion Winfrey not being with us this year is definitely going to hurt the Sooners. But I think Jonah La'ulu brings something like that to the team. I think he's going to bring that tenacity, and I think he's going to be a leader on that defense. And I think Brent Venables and Todd Bates and those guys are looking at him and looking for him to be that leader. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you guys think is the best transfer in the 2022 college football season?